to make sure I got some out of there because Ohio State played. I'm mad. They gave up an 18-point lead to a team that lost to Bucknell, and they beat them. Chris Holtmann is officially entering his slump early as well. It doesn't normally happen this early in December, but Big Ten play happens, so here it comes. I was so high on Ohio State. I was thinking so high of them. I thought, man, they have two of the best guards in the Big Ten. I thought, Felix Okpara is really coming along. Evan Mahaffey can't score, but he plays really good defense. I was thinking so well of this team. Then they got up by 18 points. I actually turned the game off for a little bit. I was going to come back to it. So I turned it off for a little bit. I went to a high school little play show that my wife wanted to go to. And as I'm there, I check the score and I see the score is like tied, and I was like, oh no, what happened here? And I start watching the game, and I'm just immediately put in a bad mood because I thought to myself, how is a team that lost to Bucknell coming back by 18 points to win in this game? Kanye Clary, that's how. And Ohio State not playing defense, that's how. Frank, talk me off a ledge. Am I overreacting here? What are your thoughts?
I didn't really think that Ohio State did anything wrong. I just felt like Penn State just had some things go their way. Kind of the one thing I saw from Ohio State was I feel like maybe they overlooked, and I'm just saying maybe because I don't know, maybe they overlooked Leo O'Boyle. They just lost him a couple times in transition early in the game. There was one possession where I think it was Gale where they got Leo O'Boyle the ball in transition, and Gale just kind of like swiped at him a couple times and stepped away, and he was like, all right, and just threw it up and it went in. And outside of that, it took a guy, DeMarco Dunn, having a career game, to really put me, because you expect that from Kanye Clary. I don't think you expect necessarily that for those two guys, but Boyle hit the shot to force overtime against Maryland. I just thought that it was more of Penn State playing really out of their minds late in the game, and they scored 29 points in the last 10 minutes to Ohio State's 16, more so than it was. Ohio State had some good shots there at the end. And, they were really forcing Penn State into some tough rotations, and they were hitting those shots for the majority of the game. They just stopped going in late in the second half. So, I mean, if that's the one thing you have to say negative, that open shots didn't go in, I mean, you just have to tip your cap at that point, and trust me, I know about that. I saw Purdue play against Fairleigh Dickinson. Open shots didn't go in. So, I feel like there's no reason to be concerned right now as an Ohio State fan. But ultimately, and you may disagree with me, JR, I think this is a good win just for the Big Ten as a whole, because Penn State arguably does have the worst loss in the Big Ten right now. And so for them to kind of level things back out and get this win is probably good for the conference as a whole right now. And I know you don't want to be on the bad end of that, JR, as an Ohio State fan, but I think that Ohio State's going to be fine going forward.
That feels nice, Frank, but I don't exactly feel that right now. I hear what you're saying, and I think you make a lot of valid points. It's just I look at this team and they start Big Ten play, and it seems like every single year it's like, oh well, this team, this player just had a career game against Ohio State. What are you going to do about that? And it's like at a certain point, maybe guys are having career games against Ohio State because Chris Holtmann can't coach defense. Like at some point, are we figuring this out? I know Eric is coming over here and he agrees with me. Holtmann can't win Big Ten games on the road, period. They definitely struggle on the road, and I'm trying to be more optimistic here. I've been a Holtmann apologist for years, and after last year, I'm just like, this team has to do something. They have to get to the tournament. They have to go somewhere. And the biggest pain about it is that the athletic director for Ohio State is he's retiring in the summertime, and I can't imagine that somebody's going to come in and fire the basketball coach right away and hire their own guy. So I feel like no matter what, we're stuck with Holtmann at least one more year. But I don't want to make it about my soap opera on Holtmann, because Penn State did play a good game and they deserve credit as well. Chaps, what'd you see in this game? Shaps, not Chaps. Shaps, what'd you see in this game?
No, I'd be furious too, JR. I don't care who you're playing. If you blow an 18-point lead, I am jumping, like through a glass window with fury. And as a member of the firing squad for on the Java Men pod, we fall into two categories. You're either on the firing squad when things go bad, you're coming after Underwood and everybody, or on the other side, we refer to it as the human centipede, where you're always optimistic, and whatever crap they feed you, it's just coming right back out the other end. And so that's how our podcast is divided. I am a proud member of the firing squad. A lot of heat is on Brad Underwood this year. So if you need any advice for being on the squad when it comes to Holtman, we can happily provide that for you. But yeah, I'd be incredibly frustrated as well if you keep seeing the same result. And it really is just defensively, like if their shots aren't falling, can they get a stop when they need it? You have to be able to get stops. You have to stop these runs, because there's always going to be runs that if you get out to a big lead, you're going to go cold at some point. That's college basketball. Like they're not like great shooters most of the time. So like they're just going to go cold. That's how it works. And the other team is going to get hot probably at that same time, but you have to be able to get stops. It's tough on the road, obviously, when the other team gets going. Illinois just saw that in Tennessee as well. But yeah, I'd be furious blowing a lead like that. So don't feel bad about it. And who the hell is Leo O'Boyle, by the way? Like, where did this guy come from?
I didn't know about him until the Maryland game, but he's fun. He's a lot of
They
fun.
have to be making like O'Boyle rules shirts.
It's got to be a thing.
At Penn State already. Yeah.
That is true. You have to consider the name when somebody beats you really bad. So if you've gotten beat by Leo O'Boyle, things are not looking good for you, right?
Yeah, it makes it so much worse to get beat by Leo O'Boyle.
Oh man, thanks for making me feel worse there, Chaps. No,
anytime.
Yeah, more fuel to the fire for the firing squad. I'm here for
That's
it.
right. We're loaded.
No, I do want to give credit to Penn State, though. I don't want it to be all doom and gloom about Ohio State. Penn State did come back after that Maryland game, which, by the way, another error down there. 1-1, not 1-0. So I'll get these figured out someday. Sorry, guys. First day with the graphics, okay? Give me a break. But yeah, no, I thought Clary played a really good game in this one. He's kind of coming into himself and coming into the player that I think Penn State needs him to be. My concern with this Penn State team early in the season is I didn't really feel like they had an identity. I felt like it was like hey, Mike Rhodes is coming over from VCU. That's what we got. It was kind of like,
he brought Ace Baldwin with him.
Exactly. Like, what's the identity of this team? Who are they? And I think we're finding some more of that now. I still can't put a finger on it and say this is the identity of the team, but I feel like we're getting closer to that now. And so I think this is a very encouraging sign for Penn State. And you're right, Frank. The Big Ten needed a win like this for somebody who is lower on the totem pole to come up, because I don't think Penn State is a 14-13 team. I think they're closer to a 10 or 11 team in the Big Ten by the end of the year. But we'll see how it goes. And who knows? I mean, Mike Rhodes, he might just be one of those guys that he's getting his team into it later on in the season, and we'll go from there. I don't think they're going to be a tournament team, but they definitely can be one of the teams in the Big Ten to challenge some of these other teams. So, thanks for listening to the Big Ten Huddle. Please do like and subscribe. We appreciate that. If this was your first time listening, we are the Big Ten Huddle. We cover all things Big Ten football and basketball. We have a long episode every Sunday, Tuesday, and Wednesday night, all at 9 o'clock. So come in, check us out. Get in the chat, let us know what you're thinking. We would love to have you join us and learn more about the Big Ten.